everybody, Chris here, and this is my first comic book review. I guess you can call this episode 1, you can call the intro, I guess, episode 0 then. And before we get started, I'd like to mention something about my comic books. Sadly, there are no comic book stores around my area, and so all my comic books I get via the internet. To be more precise, MidtownComics.com. I'll put a link up here, or I'll put a link up to the site on my description box. And that's where I get all my comic books. They do great service. Here's the thing, though. The reason I mentioned
You remember this video? You might not if you're a newer viewer, but for those of you who have been around for 149 episodes, you recognize this one as my first ever Dark Avenger comic book review, and that was about 3.5 to 4 years ago. As you guys saw in the last video, this is part 2 of the 3-part series that's leading into my 150th Dark Avenger comic book review. In the last episode, I talked about why I talk about my comic books, why I like discussing comic books, why I like doing my reviews and everything else. This episode is more along the lines of the beginning, how it all started, and you know, from basically episode 1 until episode 149, which was already shot. This is actually being shot after my 149th Dark Avenger comic book review. I'm just I'm basically shooting them in the opposite way that they're going to be posted. And basically this is just me talking about where I started and getting up until this point here. And if you would have told me way back when, during that first comic book review, that I would be at this spot today, I wouldn't have believed you. I would have said, yeah, I'm sure I'm doing 149 comic reviews and I'm talking to about 2 or 3 people who are probably not even interested. Because way back then, when I started my comic reviews, I didn't think anybody really cared. I remember right before doing my comic review, I was searching around YouTube. There weren't too many comic reviewers out there. There was maybe about 4 or 5. Maybe I could count them on my 2 hands. The one comic review site that actually caught my eye, though, was a site, a group that actually did reviews that lived in Brooklyn, known as Pete's Basement. You guys know them. I'm very sure about that. And I watched a couple of their episodes, and I got an idea of how I wanted to do my reviews, and I wasn't going to copy them. But I got a couple of, you know, I've got my how people do it. And I basically learned, I got my training wheels, let's just say, from them. And then I went off on my own. And I started my first episode, as you guys saw. And about 1 million ums later, because I literally throughout the whole 3 parts, 10 minutes each. Because back then we didn't have that over 15-minute rule. Here I am. The first episode was shot. There were a lot of, as I said, ums. Second episode was shot. There were less ums. And then by the 3rd episode, there were hardly any at all. And then I just continued going from there. And, you know, between episodes 1 to 100, I was sponsored, or I worked with Radical for a while. And then I started doing DVD reviews a bit. You know, funny story is, I didn't even start this channel with comic book reviews. Let's hold the phone a minute. Before the comic reviews even started, let's go back in time and go back to when I first started on YouTube, and it wasn't even on this channel. When I started on YouTube, I was working on a channel called Brooklyn Boys 13, which still does exist, and we're still posting videos on there. And that was my brother and our group site. And on there we did skits, we did video game walkthroughs and playthroughs and tournaments and everything like that there. We did music. We basically touched everything. It was an everything channel, and it still is an everything channel. But Mike had his own channel, Dude Rock 18. My brother's friend had his own channel, Shadow Wolf 000, and all the other people that have come through Brooklyn Boys 13 had also had their own channel. So everybody said, Chris, where's your channel? And I'm like, this is my channel. Whenever anybody talked about me, it was Mike Dude Rock 18 and his brother Chris, Brooklyn Boys 13. But Chris, this is your group channel. Why don't you get your own channel? I don't need it. I'm very happy on the group channel. 2.5 years later, I decided, okay, fine. Everybody wants me to get my own channel. I'll get my own channel. But I didn't want to do video games. because my brother did that along with skits, and my brother's friend Kev did that, and basically we all had our own channel. They all had their own channels for gaming. I wanted to do something different, and I said, what do I like more than gaming? What do I enjoy doing more as a hobby? And first thing that came to mind was comic books. I said, okay, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try, take a shot in the dark. And I created this channel, Dark Avenger C86, and ironically enough, the first thing I did on this channel was a video game walkthrough of Ghostbusters. And it was a fun walkthrough. And I had 2 videos after that, which were The Butt Trap, which was a multiplayer thing with me and my friends. You guys can see all this. It's on the first page. I did a skit. I was going to do skits on this channel as well. I had a skit with my friend Olga from years ago, during the time I was working at the camp in the place I work now. And from there I just jumped. Then I went into the comic reviews. I had my episode 0, which was the intro to the comic book reviews, and then I had the actual number 1, and then I went to 100, and that's when I met a lot of great people from episode 1 to 100. I met a lot of newer people, however, when episode 100 was shot, because that's when a lot of the people I know now actually started doing reviews as well. So I made a whole lot of friends from episode 100 to this episode that we're at now, and I am the one that is actually honored to have all of you guys as my friends and my viewers and my commenters and my messengers, because as I said, I never would have thought, we're 149 episodes in, and I've got people messaging me questions about comics, people messaging me requests, or they're recommending books to me. They're telling me what they're getting, and we're comparing notes on books. I'm getting comments on my videos. I have a live show I do every Tuesday now. I started Comic Community Central at the beginning of this year, which is basically the entire comic community that I knew since episode 100 till now. All of us on one big channel doing a huge group thing. And then later on, because I thought I lost my 15 minutes on here, I created Dark Avenger Inc., which was supposed to be an extension to this channel, or the continuation of the comic review, so I didn't have to start numbering from 1 again. And then it turned out that I got my 15 minutes back on this channel, so I decided to make it the extension on my channel, and I actually posted a video saying if anybody's interested in joining me on my extension, you're more than welcome. And then 6 members later, it became a smaller group channel. However, I did post the requirement of 1 video a week, but even if the requirement wasn't there, I'm pretty sure there would be videos every week. And, I didn't even expect to have a panel. I wanted a panel when I started my comic reviews. Didn't exactly happen. Later on, though, after I believe or around episode 100, Mike actually jumped in, and we started working together. My brother Mike was like my partner in crime. He's been there from episode 1 all the way through to episode 149. Not one Dark Avenger comic book review went down without Michael involved, either holding the camera, which he started off as my cameraman, or sitting next to me as my partner in my comic book reviews. Because Mike actually started getting interested in certain books. I had been urging him to start reading books from, I'd say, episode 10. I've been wanting him to do reviews. And later on, he actually gave in and said, fine, I'll take this book, that book, and the other book. And he started with Punisher. He then reached out into some of the new 52 books. He's going to be reaching into some of the Marvel Now books. He's doing Avengers vs. X-Men Versus. So Michael actually went from behind the camera to actually in front of the camera, and I'm actually happy about that. But not one review went down without my brother somewhere in the mix, either behind the camera or in front. And Mike's been my partner through everything, even Brooklyn Boys. And I think you'd have to know me and my brother through Brooklyn Boys to understand how we work. A lot of people misconstrue that, and a lot of idiots and morons, especially the morons, like to portray it. And it may look one way to you guys, especially if you don't know how me and my brother work. But behind the camera, when the camera's off, we always say, if I'm saying too much, say something. Don't worry about it, even if it's in the middle of a video. Or if I'm saying something wrong, correct me. Or, if I need help pronouncing something, just jump in and pronounce it. People don't know that, and that's because they don't know us from back during the Brooklyn Boys days. And if you guys did know us from the Brooklyn Boys days, believe me, you'd see the bloopers and all the videos that me and my brother shot together, and you'd understand exactly the chemistry we have. So what certain morons like to portray, or think that they're right about. And I'm not going to focus on any particular people because we've all had our fair share of trolls too, but I'm ignoring, you ignore idiocy and ignorance, and you move forward. I mean, people who want to waste 50, 60 minutes of their lives shooting and then editing a video, that's great. I just don't have that kind of time to make a reply back. Enough said there. But me and my brother have a very special kind of chemistry, and we've worked together for over 7 years on YouTube. Between Brooklyn Boys, between this channel, he's on Comic Community Central with us, he's on Dark Avenger Inc. We work really great together, and he's like my partner in crime, just like everybody on Dark Avenger Inc. are my partners in crime also, because basically they joined my site's extended site, and now it's like my extended site, which is basically an extended site with a small group of people on it as well. And then on Comic Community Central, those are my other partners in crime on there, my other group members, and it's a great community. And I honestly, going into this, I never thought that there would be a community, and I'm actually honored and blessed to have this huge community of people who love talking about and discussing and reviewing comic books. And Dark Avenger Inc.'s going really well. Comic Community Central went really well also. But when I started the extended site to my channel, this is about really the comic reviews. I really don't want to go into group channels. But Dark Avenger Inc. became my extended channel. Basically anything, toy reviews or anything like that, I did it there. And we just got, we're working with now a bunch of companies, which Image, Dynamite, Valiant, Zenescope, just to name a few. There's also Comic Press, and I feel like I'm missing one. And we're still talking with other companies as well. But, I never would have thought that I'd be working with all these companies as well. It's just a big wow to see from then to now all the changes that have happened, not only to my channel, but the extension channel, which is Dark Avenger Inc., and then the huge group channel, which has the entire comic book community on there, people I've known since my 50th comic book review, and where we have all our huge videos. And there's actually a channel that came out of Comic Community Central, which is a really great channel as well, which is Comic Talk Podcast. That came out of Comic Community Central also, and that's another great show. But beside the point, so much has happened in these 3 years, and it's been a really crazy yet awesome ride, in my opinion, and I look forward to what's coming in the future. However, I won't talk about that here. The future is part 3 and the grand finale of this Trinity set of videos that are leading into 150. But it's been a crazy ride, and ever since episode 100, things have just been building up, working on a huge group channel, a smaller group channel, which is an extension of mine. And the people on Comic Community Central are dedicated people, as well as the people on Dark Avenger Inc. are dedicated also. My partners in crime on Dark Avenger Inc. are Mike Spider Slayer, comic book mom Audrey, and her husband Craig, Rorschach's Journal. Kat, who also works on Player Affinity, she writes comic book reviews, so that's something new, and she's on Dark Avenger Inc. Sydney, who does all the art for not only Dark Avenger Inc., but she does all the thumbnails for my videos, and she's helped me do a couple of art things for like my slideshows and whatnot. So she's like the artistic coordinator for now. Trust me, she's going to do reviews soon, and she's going to blow everybody's mind when she starts that. And my brother Mike, who's also on Dark Avenger Inc., Comic Community Central, my channel. Nothing can top our, I know a lot of people say they love watching myself and my brother, but, a lot of work my brother and myself do when it comes to Brooklyn Boys, and when my brother works with me on Dark Avenger, and when Mike does his videos for Dark Avenger Inc., and I do my videos for Dark Avenger Inc., we're always working side by side. I'm working side by side with Mike Spider Slayer a lot. We have lots of phone conversations, phone texts back and forth. I'm talking with Audrey on Skype, back and forth we talk. I talk with Kat through YouTube, back and forth. There's like always a line of communication when it comes to the Dark Avenger stuff. And if it sounds like I'm not talking about Comic Community Central that much, Comic Community Central means the world to me. I created the channel. I love it. I've actually posted a video recently on it. I'm going to be doing a couple of preview reviews on there from time to time. But these videos are mostly for my comic book reviews, so I wanted to focus mostly on the Dark Avenger stuff. But Comic Community Central is a huge channel, and you guys got to go check it out also. I know recently Chris Dawkins Howlett was working on that as well. There are so many people, and in the next video, before I do the future thing, I couldn't do it in this video. I wanted to, but my computer is acting completely wacko right now. I'm actually restarting the whole computer and doing a check on it. In part 3, I'm going to show you guys who I watch, because a lot of people say, Chris, you know, you rarely comment. I'm going to show you guys. I told you guys I'm a very silent viewer. I'm going to show you guys people I'm subscribed to, the people that I watch their reviews and stuff on. You guys may know a few of them, so come back in part 3, and before we get into the future, I'll show you guys. It's going to be the people I watch, and then where I see my channel and Dark Avenger Inc. also being my channel going into the future. And once again, I'm very cautious about what I say now, because I don't want to insult anybody by not saying something or by saying something, because I don't want it to be taken up wrong or anything like that. But Comic Community Central is important to me. Even if I don't talk about it, it's still a piece of my comic book community heart. So don't think that I'm any further away from Comic Community Central just because I'm working on Dark Avenger C86, my channel, or Dark Avenger Inc. And I talk about them more than Comic Community Central, because Comic Community Central still also. So, you know, I never figured I'd be where I am now. I never knew I'd meet as many amazing and wonderful people as I have. I can honestly say I don't hate anybody. I love every single person I've met, save one troll, but beside the point, you know, hate's a very strong emotion anyway. I love every single person that I've met, and I enjoy talking with them and exchanging conversation, whether it be on Skype, through comments, through messages. It's been amazing, and I really love it. So that was the end of this part. Come back next week, guys, right before my 150th comic book review, where I will be talking about where I see this and Dark Avenger Inc. going off into the future, my future plans for this channel as well as my extended channel. Thank you guys for taking the time out to watch this, and I hope you guys watched the first part, because I meant everything I said, and I think that if anybody feels that they can enjoy themselves doing this, you guys should, because it's a hell of a lot of fun. Alright guys, take care, keep reading and collecting your comic books or whatever you collect, and I'll see you guys in part 3, where I talk about my plans for the future, leading on the road to episode 200, which we are already 51 weeks away from. I made a mistake. I added 2 weeks instead of subtracting 2 weeks. So actually, this week, it's 51 weeks from now. So last week it was a year. So it was a year from yesterday week. So basically, it's going to be at the end of August probably, maybe the very beginning of September. So, thank you guys. Take care. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I keep thinking I'm just, you know, with all the stuff that's happened, you guys definitely, if you haven't already, go back and check out those older reviews just for the nostalgic moments and the fun times I had shooting them, and you guys will understand. And then maybe if you want, you can go check out Brooklyn Boys 13, but I warn you, we seem to be nuts. You may actually believe we're nuts. We don't care. We enjoy every moment of those videos as well. So we're a little nuts. So Mike ran around without his shirt on. So I ran through a camera once naked. So I threw my pants at somebody once. It was fun times. Still is fun times on Brooklyn Boys 13. Especially that time Mike put the cat on Kevin, and I'm not going to say what the cat did to Kevin, but it took a while for those wounds to heal. Anyway, take care, guys. I'll see you guys really soon. I'll see you guys next for the comic review that I already shot. And I'll see you guys really soon on Dark Avenger Inc., where I'll be doing a lot of videos. Please subscribe to all the channels. This channel, Dark Avenger Inc., and while you're at it, go to Comic Community Central and give that channel a subscribe too. Comments, I love them. Long, short, middle, in between. I don't care. I love them. And I read them, and I love replying, and I will be replying to them as soon as humanly possible. Probably a couple hours later. And show YouTube you like this video if you did like it by favoriting it, because I don't do the thumbs up and down. I just think that's a waste of time. It's not even about troll activity anymore. It's just a waste, because you get some stupid guy who watches 2 minutes of it, doesn't even understand the video, and gives it a thumbs down. Waste of time. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me, and I'll see you guys soon for another Dark Avenger comic book review, as well as other videos. And I hope you guys enjoy not only up to 150, not only up to 200, but well on into issue or episode 1000. Take care, everybody. See you soon.